Let God Sort 'Em Out, which features, from what I understand, wall-to-wall production from legendary producer and longtime collaborator Pharrell Williams. Now, a momentous return like this should be enough to stir up conversation around this record, but we also recently covered an interesting story on this channel about the release of this album and clips moving off of Def Jam's roster over a Kendrick Lamar verse that is yet to be released and seen that is going to be on this album because UMG wanted the verse censored, potentially over what it was saying about Drake. Pusha T responded to calls to censor this verse by just standing on Clips's artistic and creative freedom and said, no, we're not doing it. They bought themselves out of their deal, and now we are going to hear this album unedited, which I'm pretty excited about. But another story is now coming out of this album because Clips have seen fit to release another single from this project, this one titled So Be It. The first one being Ace Trumpets, which in and of itself I thought was pretty great. This new track, though, features fantastic Pharrell production with all these like reversed bits of percussion, classic Clips, flows that take me back to the Hell Hath No Fury era. And on the back end of the track, in the very final verse of the song, Pusha T actually goes out of his way to throw out some pretty harsh bars for none other than Travis Scott. Within 24 hours, Pusha T has launched a full-on hate campaign against this man.
I don't take it as personal as I should. It's Travis. He's harmless. I'm not into his whole makeup. I took it there.
If we remember back to Travis Scott's Utopia album, that does feature a pretty massive cut with Drake on it, Meltdown, in which Drake very directly insults Pharrell, threatens to melt down a bunch of Pharrell chains that he had. So considering how closely Pusha has worked with Pharrell over the years, how much his career owes to Pharrell, and how loyal he tends to portray himself to be, yeah, that does kind of make sense that he would associate Travis with that track and hold him at least in part responsible for its release and the disses and the insults from Drake that it communicated. But apparently, according to this GQ interview featuring Pusha T, it runs, I guess, a little bit deeper than that. Pusha T describes some kind of like recording session that Travis Scott was interrupting, saying, "We weren't into the music, but he wanted to play it, wanted to film us listening to it, and then a week later you hear Meltdown, which he didn't play. He played the song, but not Drake's verse. He don't have no picks, no loyalty to nobody. He'll jump around whatever he feels is hot, or cling to whatever he feels is hot." So that's where my issue comes in. Like, dog, don't even come over here with that, because at the end of the day, I don't play how y'all play. To me, that really was just like, he's a whore. He's a whore. Now, in response to this quote and this problem that Pusha T has taken up with Travis Scott, there have been a lot of responses saying Drake didn't record his verse on the song until last minute. Pusha T is completely lying and messing up the timeline here. And I think a lot of these points and retorts are kind of missing the point. Regardless of whether or not Drake's verse was recorded before Travis Scott showed Clips the song or after, the point still stands that Travis Scott, for some reason, must think highly of Pusha T and Malice, as well as Pharrell, or at least, like, that's how he would like to come across when he is playing them his music and seeking some kind of, like, validation. Oh, hey, here's the music I made. Listen to it. Isn't it great? Isn't it hot? So you go through the process of seeking out the validation of these people, show them your music, and then afterwards you invite somebody on to that same album or even song that you showed them to crap on them. I don't know. To me, that like reads as kind of a little weird. I mean, while yes, it is true that, Travis Scott isn't fully responsible for every single thing that Drake says, you are allowing him to come onto your record for a feature that is undoubtedly going to be one of the biggest features on the album. I mean, in fact, when Utopia came out, the Meltdown verse from Drake was one of the most highly discussed verses, and it was because of the insults to Pharrell. I mean, Travis can't play completely stupid in this instance. He had to understand on some level the gravity of what was being said in that guest verse and what was being communicated. And if he didn't, what you're essentially telling me here is that this man essentially allows anybody who is relevant to come onto his album and do anything they want without actually paying attention to the messaging of it or the quality of it, which, I mean, if that is in fact the case, that's kind of sorry and that's kind of sad, and frankly a super piss poor way to approach making any kind of art. So again, there have been a lot of accusations against Pusha T that he's misunderstanding or wrong about the timeline, that he's going at Travis Scott for no reason whatsoever, when in fact it is pretty clear that this is a response to the Meltdown verse. It's not like this is coming out of nowhere. And a third characterization that I'm seeing thrown at Pusha T in the wake of all of this is that the guy can't do an album rollout without dissing somebody or attacking somebody or going at somebody, when, like, Drake shits on people on his albums all the time. In fact, every single time he has an album rollout, you can guarantee there's going to be a series of articles of here's all the people Drake mentions in a negative way on his album. And again, Travis Scott did have that Meltdown verse on his record, and it was a big point of discussion with the original Utopia rollout. He also obviously had Drake on Sicko Mode, which for years people have been aware of the fact and have talked about Drake's verse on that track being an insult to Kanye. So, I mean, it's not like there's not historical precedent here for people kind of being like, okay, Travis Scott likes to play neutral party here because he's just like...
I mean, so this is this dude is Fantonio, something like that. Anyway, check out. Let me see. Let me scroll down so y'all can see the guy's YouTube channel. Y'all can go ahead and subscribe. That guy, this guy here. I'm just subscribed to him now. That's the guy. He talks about different hip hop, and he has over 1 million followers. I forgot what I was getting ready to say. Damn it. I forgot. Yeah, that's right. Travis Scott. I used to like Travis Scott when he first came out, but now he's kind of, being he knows he's like the top rapper. He's kind of, I heard he's kind of a dick. Like that's one of the things that Pusha T heard about him, that he treats his, he's just not a good person. I mean, I don't know, but if you watch that documentary he did, not the Astro World one where that situation happened where everybody got trampled, not that, but there was another situation where he had a documentary on Netflix when he first blew up, when he first got the Fortnite deal, and he was talking to the grown ass men that could be his daddy, like, I guess because he figured he was paying them, like talking to them like they were beneath him. I really didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't at your post? Shit like that. Like, yeah, this little dude, and then he figured he can talk to people like this because he know that he got money and people need his money. So y'all got to lick my ass. I don't know. I kind of got that from the documentary he did with Netflix. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's get back into it.
Like the curator, he's the director, he's the guy kind of masterminding the album and letting everybody do their own thing. But you're still allowing people to have a platform on these very big popular albums that you as the artist benefit from the drama of, if there does happen to be an insult or a diss or whatever in that verse. You can't like completely absolve yourself of any and all connections or responsibility that you have in that situation as the guy who's like the main brain and the final decision maker of what is and is not on that album, even if it is a song or a verse that is finalized and recorded last minute. So I mean, while calling Travis Scott a whore might be a bit much, I sort of understand where Pusha T is coming from on this, that Travis Scott, and this could have a lot to do with just like the era of music and hip hop culture that he comes from, he just doesn't trust him because he doesn't really know where his allegiances lie. But let's get to the actual diss Pusha T laid out against Travis in this track, in the final verse where he says, "You cried in front of me, you died in front of me. Calabasas took your bitch and your pride in front of me. Heard Utopia had moved right up the street and her lip gloss was poppin'. She ain't need you to eat." The net gonna call it the way that they see it, but I got the video I can share and AE it. They wouldn't believe it, but I can't unsee it. Lucky I ain't TMZ it. So be it, so be it. Which you could take from a pretty surface level read of this, that Pusha T saw Travis Scott in a pretty emotional moment, post the Kylie Jenner breakup, where he was crying and And Kylie Jenner, I guess, doesn't really need him because she's sort of rich and famous and successful on her own through her brand, through her cosmetics. Which, like, okay, I mean, for sure, it's insulting. It's an attempt at being insulting. But like, this doesn't really get to the heart of all the things Pusha T has been saying about Travis Scott in the media, as far as like, you know, his issues with him and why he's going at Travis in the first place. What Pusha is addressing here is some other topic and issue, and one that, frankly, to me is not even really all that revelatory or.
All right, y'all. So I don't want to watch some more of this. Anyway, if y'all want to check out the rest of the video, y'all can go to Fantano YouTube channel and check him out. Subscribe to this channel. Yeah. I want to hear the song. I'm going to go check out the album. When does the album come out? The album is not, I guess the Pusha T, the Clips album is not out yet. I wasn't really a big fan of the Clips, even when they first came out back in the day. Back in the early 2000s, when I was just getting out of college, I really wasn't a big fan of the Clips. I don't know. They just didn't never do it for me for some reason. I don't know. You know? I actually liked it, Pusha T, after he left the Clips. You know what I'm saying? I did. I liked him after he left. I liked his music better without his brother. Not saying that his brother couldn't rap. I just liked it, Pusha T as a single artist. You know what I'm saying? I feel like his flow was I don't know. Especially that one song he did with Kanye on his last album. When Kanye produced his whole album. You know? Anyway. What do y'all think about this video, man? Leave your comments and subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up button.